Hi, and welcome back. This is part 2 of a 3-part series, and in this video we will be using the sum and division functions in VBA to calculate the aggregate and average ELO ratings of two teams, the Alpha and Bravo team. I'm going to create a new sub procedure so that we don't have to draw on the input boxes that we discussed in the first part of the series. And so I'm going to insert a module and start a new sub procedure called ELO ratings. Let's go ahead and, so the way that I work is usually I'll just write out variables and at the end state them as dimensions. So I'm going to make a note to myself first that the following statements calculate the alpha, aggregate, and average ELOs. So the first variable is the alpha range, which is what I'm calling cells C2, C3, and C4. That's going to be my alpha range. And the location of this is in worksheets, sheet 1. And it's range C2 through C4. That's gonna be my alpha range. The sum of these three numbers I'm going to call alpha sum, and this is where we use a function inside VBA, and it's going to sum what we named as a variable alpha range. Then I want the results of this function to be pasted into cell D2. So I'm going to state that range D2 equals alpha sum. Now in order to calculate the average ELO, it's going to be this number divided by 3. So I'm going to say that ELO A equals the number that it's located in D2 divided by 3. And I want the result of this function to be pasted into cell E2. So I'm going to say range E2 equals ELO A. Now I'm going to state these dimensions and say dim alpha range, make sure I capitalize that, dim alpha sum, dim ELO A. Alright, and then I'm going to end the sub procedure and I'm going to run this program. So 4,842 is the sum of these three numbers, and the average ELO of alpha team is 1,614. Now we're going to calculate the Bravo team's ELO ratings, and for the sake of time I have already written out the code. I'm just going to paste it here as it's very similar to what we did with the alpha team. I just need to add the new dimensions. And let's go ahead and run the program. And now we have the aggregate ELO for the Bravo team, and what we have here is a decimal. There's one of two things we can do about this because we want a whole number. What we can do is that we can use the round function for both teams. Round, and it will round, and this will round it to a whole number, the 0. Or you can put 2 and it can round it to 2 decimals, although if the answer is already a whole number, as it is here, it'll keep it as a whole number. And 0 here. Let's go ahead and run the program, what happens there. And now it gives us the nearest number right here, 1,436. An alternate thing you can do is opt out of VBA and use the Excel formatting and just click on Format Cells, indicate that this is a number, and use 2 decimal places. Oh, sorry. Leave it to a whole number, and that will also solve the problem. And you won't have to leave this round function there unless you want to. It's a bit of an overkill. Can go ahead and click on something, run the program, and it still gives you the same results. So this code, this VBA code, will help you calculate the sum of a range and the division of a single number and paste the results into these cells. In the next part of this series, we will be calculating an equation, which is a little bit more complex, and we will emphasize that the order of the statements is very important. I hope this video was helpful, and see you next time.